You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk, a movie podcast where we give pumps and dumps.
Hello and welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your hunk.
Well, actually, I'm Doge, and I am mysterious as the dark side of the hunk. Oh man, this is embarrassing.
And I'm Carter, because I have to do this part too.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's it. Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your chunk.
Yes.
Carter, you have a decision in front of you to make.
Okay.
There's two boys.
I just want to point out, I was nominated for Hunkitude. I did not claim it nor ask for it.
Here's the
Do
thing.
you think I asked to be born on this day in which we record?
As we know, today is Doge's birthday. I had nominated Jordan because Jordan, I had an event next week. Hamilton's in Dallas. So he switched tickets with me so that my wife and I could go and I wouldn't miss seeing Hamilton. So I nominated him for being a hunk.
Pretty hunky thing to
That's
do.
a pretty hunky thing to do.
You know what else is hunky? Turning a new age. For the first time in my whole life, I'm a new age.
Wow.
It is
I honestly can't believe this is the first time you've ever been.
This is the first time I've ever been 25.
This is ridiculous.
I'm still
I've
really,
already been 25 for months.
I'm
at this
very
point.
new at it. I'm very new at it. So
I also
You
have
barely
been
have your sea
I've been
legs.
25 for several months. I think this has to just come down to fate.
Oh.
Fate.
fate. If you could change it, fate. Would ya?
Woocha.
So we're doing this. We're flipping a coin.
We're flipping a coin.
Okay,
This is going to be
digital-
the first ever coin flip hunkathon.
digital coin. Flipping digital
A digital coin.
What do you call it?
Tails.
Okay. Siri, flip a coin.
Tails.
Oh! That was the fastest coin. Flip it tails. Well,
you
Somebody
did it.
do it again. I'm
sorry,
the hunk.
Doge.
And
It's all right. Fine.
turns out that all I really wanted was victory, and now I cede my hunkitude to the birthday boy.
Oh, thank you so much.
What
Wow.
a sweet turn of events.
So I'm Jordan, and I'm the chunk once more.
Aw. That's so nice of you.
Turns
on his
out
birthday.
all I wanted to do is crush my friend in competition. And now that I've done that, I don't care about the
remember
video.
the great Goof Troop debacle of a few weeks ago, so I know you want to crush me in competition.
I don't remember it. I live in it. Always. It'll never change.
Bobby wouldn't have beat Kronk, though.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's a fact.
Kronk
very true.
destroyed Pumbaa.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have been closer, but woo.
Sorry, I just did a real baby-like stretch. Sort of.
A real Vin Diesel
Yeah,
stretch.
it's very toddler of me. I got to get my
You look
energy
like you should be
flowing.
wearing dinosaur pajamas while you stretch like that.
Yeah, and you know what's very similar to dinosaurs? Dragons.
Yeah, sure.
Sort of like fictitious dinosaurs that breathe fire
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and talk like the donkey from Shrek.
Yep.
And if you don't know where I'm going with this, shame on you, dishonor on you and your whole family and your cat.
Nice.
Because you didn't watch this movie that we're about to talk about, and that movie is, of course,
Mulan!
I'm so pumped about this one, Doge. As the birthday boy, my gift to you is read a synopsis.
Thank you. I have a gift for you guys today, actually.
On your day.
And we've already talked about Hamilton. And if you don't know about Hamilton, it's a good show, but it's only good because there's rapping. And I think that's the one thing that sets our show apart from Hamilton is we don't have any rapping.
Did you rap the synopsis?
And we need to have more rapping on our show. So
Just so
And
everybody
rapping
knows,
is perfect for a birthday show.
rapping is perfect.
Like
It's rapping with a
presents.
W.
I feel the need to say that Doge is joking about that and really loves Hamilton.
My birthday gift to you is that after I'm done with the synopsis, our podcast will be better than Hamilton.
Wow. Okay.
So
Does somebody need to lay a beat or?
no, that would mess me up.
Rhythm is not good for rapping.
No. This is a white rap, just so we're clear.
Oh, okay. So like Eminem, I'm expecting a lot.
Exactly. Mulan is a story set in ancient China. She's the girl, there's a cricket and a dragon breathing fire. She has a horse named Khan, but I don't know that he's relevant. Her story's pretty crazy, so dear listener, I will tell it. The Huns invade and the emperor calls, but Mulan's sweet daddy is too old and bald and frail and weak to defend his land, so Mulan takes his place as a man. After a sword haircut and a training song, the rest of the soldiers respect Mulan. She is cunning in battle, she is smart, she is strong, she has finally found a place to belong. They meet the Huns on a snowy field. They're incredibly outnumbered. They refuse to yield. So she formulates a plan. Quick as a glance, Mulan buries the Huns beneath an avalanche. The fighting is over. The war is through. Looks like happy ever after, but Commander learns the truth. Her identity revealed. Mulan is on the run when who should arise from the snow but the Huns? She races to the Emperor, and though they have a friend in her, not a single soldier that she served with will remember her. The remaining Huns attack. The Emperor is prisoner. Mulan must save China. Her people's fate is up to her. She says to her men, we must be bolder, colder, soldiers, using the tools at our disposal. We must sneak into the palace under cover of disguise. You're not going to like it, but you can't be guys. So they infiltrate the palace, skirts hitched high, ruthlessly eliminating Huns left and right. Mulan defeats their leader with a fireworks display. The emperor is freed, and China is saved. The emperor congratulates her and offers her thanks. The war would have been lost without this woman in her ranks. He gives her a medal, and he gives her a sword, and he sends her home, the peace restored. She kneels before her father. He kisses her face, and her commander has come to ask her on a date. So Mulan saved China while dressed as a dude. She proved that we're more than sorry to be crude. What's between our legs? No, it's the heart that counts. There's my synopsis. Hamilton, eat your heart out.
Oh!
Wow. Thanks, guys. So that's probably my birthday gift to the whole world.
I feel like you know how like when you throw your car in drive and you hit the gas and just for a second it's like and then it goes. Or maybe I just have a bad car. I feel like the very beginning of that I was like, "Where's it going? Where's it going?" And then you really hit your groove.
It was just there.
Good. Well, that's
and then
the
you were
thing.
just in it.
Like I've learned from this that Hamilton is not that hard.
It's not that hard to be.
Like our podcast could win a Tony. You know what I mean?
It must be
Sure.
nice.
Sure. That's so much
But
better
that's
than what
Mulan.
my gift was going to be, which was a synopsis to the tune of Honor to Us All. It's like, this movie is real good. And like, that's as far as I got. But yours is
trouble in her neighborhood.
Yeah. So amazing. Thank you for your birthday gift to us.
That's it. That's all the words that I have for this whole hour of talking. So you guys got to carry it.
That's a
now.
lot. You did a good job.
Thanks, guys. Wow.
I
Great job, guys.
really want you to try and do it to a beat at some point. Maybe not on the show, but at some point. That would make me really happy.
Yeah.
Like really happy.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Maybe Adam can work some
We'll do
sound
it.
magic.
Adam, just do it. Just put a beat under it. Because I know I was perfect.
It's just somebody else.
That was amazing. That was so good.
Oh man. Mulan. Huh?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Am I right?
You are right.
So let's start talking about this movie.
Okay.
Shall we?
Yeah.
We open on maybe the darkest or second darkest start to one of these movies that we have seen
For
thus
real.
far.
And it's epic too. Mulan, and I'll say it this early because it happens this early. And I don't know of a better way to phrase it, so maybe y'all can help me unpack it. Feels like a move, like a dramatic movie.
It does.
Yeah, the tone is super different.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think in large part that has to do with Shan Yu, who is an absolutely horrific villain for a kid's movie.
This boy has claws.
Yeah,
Like straight up
he has
claws,
claws.
and yellow eyes like a cat. He has fangs.
He has not only yellow eyes, but everything but the iris is completely black.
He looks like a demon.
He's gnarly.
But his voice,
Is amazing.
Yeah.
And he's right there in the middle. I think on the Venn diagram, he's one of the big bad. He's like
he's
everything.
all three.
Yeah.
And his whole thing, like at the beginning when they're like, now all of China knows you're here, he says, good.
Yeah. And then that's just how it starts.
Like,
Dang,
gosh, he's
God,
great.
man.
I
I love when movies start with the threat, like the villain.
Reminds me of like Infinity War.
Infinity
Yeah.
War,
Beginning-
and doesn't Dark Knight do that too?
Yes.
The bank robbery?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Man.
Now, for Mulan, is the first scene also the one where he does the like, how many men does it take to deliver a
that's
message?
later.
Is
No,
that
that's later.
That's towards the
'Cause
middle.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love also the lamps. What are they called? Torch, like the big torches.
I think the Flame of Gondor.
Like it's exactly
Right.
the fires of Gondor. But braziers, what are they? What word am I looking for here?
I don't know if we
Big
know.
sparky
Flames.
flames.
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Sparky
yeah.
McFlames.
Big Sparky
Sparkies.
McFlames.
The big Sparkies.
So awesome and such like I'm hesitant to use this word because Call of Duty has ruined it, but like such an epic beginning to a movie.
Dude, it's so good. It makes me want so much Mountain Dew.
Stop.
It's crazy, dude.
2 in a
Can you even
row.
believe
Man, I
it?
hope this keeps up. I don't know. If I talk too much crap about y'all talking about epic stuff, you're going to surprise me with another series like the most epic series. Taylor Lautner backwards.
We're watching every cutscene from Fortnite.
Does Fortnite have cutscenes?
I don't
Maybe.
know.
I don't know. I have watched all the League of Legends cinematics. It's like 37 minutes. It's pretty fun.
That does sound very
That sounds
fun.
pretty great.
Yeah.
But back to the thing we're talking about, which is obviously
Mulan. Oh, we're introing again. Okay, synopsis. Doge.
I don't think I could do it.
but from the introduction of the Hun threat, we jump to Mulan.
Mm-hmm.
In her, she's asleep.
I love the opening credits, by the way. The watercolor.
Uh-huh.
I really like
Yes,
that.
she's not asleep. I lied on accident.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, the watercolors are awesome.
Love it.
She's writing the stuff on her arm to cheat for her
Right.
matchmaker exam.
Yes.
I want to talk about that dog for just a quick second. Has any animated dog looked less like a real dog ever?
Yeah, little brother.
Like,
So an original plot point was going to be that Mulan, and I think that's actually from the Fa Mulan, like the
There's
actual
several different
Chinese
versions of the Ballad of Fa Mulan. And
Yeah.
in some, she joins the army to take her father's place. In some, it's to take her very young brother's place.
Yep. And so
Interesting.
they actually almost did that with the film and then decided against it. There's been several plots they decided against, but as an homage, named the little pup Little Brother.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, I think that something that is interesting about this story, just kind of talking about that with things like whose place she takes and that kind of stuff, some of that feels like it could have been mad-libbed and it wouldn't have changed much because the story is about her journey versus like whose place she is taking, like who she's saving is less important than what she's going through.
Yeah, I can see
It's very
that too.
interesting.
And another thing that I had read too about one of those plot decisions was they had also thought that she was just doing that to like they were going to do it. She's joining the army to escape society because there's a lot of things she doesn't like about what's being asked of her.
Right. Well, she
back in
kind of says that at
society.
one point. I thought I found a place I could.
But ultimately,
fit in.
they were kind of like, I don't know if people were going to relate to that as much as her just taking like straight Katniss Everdeening for her dad.
Right. Yeah.
And I'll volunteer. And there was a little, and that did make it more meaningful because I do love their relationship. I mean, especially at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So she's running late to her matchmaker meeting.
Mm-hmm.
She got to run into town and get made over. And we get a really fun opening song to this movie.
Great song.
Yeah.
Would you like me to super dump now or later?
Sure, go for it.
My super dump for this movie is going to be the, I believe it's called Orientalism, with which this movie is painted, no pun intended for this matchmaker scene. Geishas are Japanese.
Right. Yeah.
This is not a Chinese thing. There's this element of, I don't know, and it's something that particularly the Asian American community like has not been represented well on film, obviously, as I'm sure is no surprise.
Yeah.
But there's an element of like we treat this as though it's barbaric and exotic and mysterious, and there's like kind of a little bit of a casual racism to some of the elements in this. Like I would say that the emperor's like mouthpiece that travels with them, I'm not sure how he made it on film in the late 90s because that's like pretty clearly just a racist caricature. There's some instances in which the subject matter could have been handled, I think, a little bit more sensitively or respectfully.
Sure. Yeah.
But the geisha thing stands out to me at the very beginning. So
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even draw the parallel to a geisha at the beginning.
Really?
Like, for some reason, my brain was just like, they're just trying to look pretty to find husbands. But now that you're saying that, it's like, yeah, okay. Like,
yeah.
I'm seeing now that is just sort of an inappropriate conglomeration of different.
Yeah, it kind of just the thing of like, I don't know. It's definitely on a larger scale, but it's like, I'm sure you guys living in Texas have had the people who are like, what do you ride a horse to work?
Right.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
well,
but
no,
it's that, but
not all
offensively.
Southern culture is the same. Just like not all Far Eastern culture is the same.
Sure.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And the Texas thing is way less offensive than.
infinitely less offensive.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's a good parallel, but
Yeah.
obviously very different.
Very different.
Fortunately, a lot of the casting, the voice casting
Yes.
was.
We didn't go
Asian.
the Hercules route of like, let's just get
Right.
any voice at all in the whole world to
Right.
play these traditionally racially important roles.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, good point. So that's a dump for sure. Super dump for Doge.
There's my super dump. So
Yeah.
Got it out of the way.
No, I
got
think
out of the way.
that's-
Now I can talk about how good it is.
Yeah, I think that is an important super dump. I think that's important to be aware of as we watch through these types of things.
Yeah.
As good of a movie as Mulan is, and I think we'll obviously get to those types of things. Like there are still underlying problematic, themes or moments that
And I
are
think
in these.
there's so much of Disney that you can pull that stuff out
Absolutely.
of.
I was
You know
about
what
to
I
say,
mean?
this isn't the first time.
Disney has kind of a sordid past
Yeah.
with
Certainly.
handling racial matters sensitively. And I don't know that means that we throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Sure.
But I think we really carefully examine the bathwater before we decide to drink it and say what yummy water this is.
Right,
Yeah.
sure.
So
And learn for the next bath we draw.
exactly.
What a long drawn out metaphor about bathing.
Yeah. Gross. Well, speaking of bathing,
Sure,
she's,
yeah.
she's in the matchmaker thing and she washes the stuff
Matchmaker,
out.
and that first song really is so fun,
Dude.
Like and such a cool introduction to
Yes.
her problems, which I think is what makes it important.
That song is this movie's musical dark horse because that has been stuck in my head since I watched this
Mine
movie.
too.
Yeah.
Like that is the catchiest
Like her
thing of all
when
time.
she runs out and she's like, "Ancestors,
Yep.
hear my," like that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
It's been stuck in my head forever.
Oh, all the ancestor worship. That was another example I was
Yeah.
going to draw. It's
Yeah.
just weird. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
But we are also introduced to the grandmother here,
She's great.
and I love her.
Is she the same grandma from Moana? Like they're virtually
I don't think
They
so.
seem similar.
Character-wise?
character-wise.
Yeah,
I
like,
think
pretty
she
much,
might
like-
be the same two little kids that Aladdin gives bread to, though.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
street.
yeah, yeah. She's Pain and Panic.
And
She's
that pain and panic,
Yeah.
yeah, that they are too.
Just wearing a trench coat stacked on top of one
Yes.
another.
That's crazy.
it's like
Hey, at
this,
a wedding I was at this last weekend, I saw a full-grown adult man with a baby's face that genuinely looked like two kids, and he was wearing a floor-length trench coat. Hand over my heart, he was wearing a floor-length trench coat, and he 100% looked like two little kids standing on
if
each
you
other's
got a
shoulders.
face that looks like a baby, I think you have to do that.
He
though.
was
like
very
he knows
tall.
what he's doing.
So
He was very tall,
funny,
like
tiny
tall enough for
hands.
two kids to stay. Like I could not stop laughing. I felt so bad for laughing at this guy.
Gosh,
but
he's
he
gonna
was-
be in my nightmares. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know why this is scary
He
to
is
me.
my nightmares.
The baby man.
the baby man.
The baby
He's
man
coming
is
for
to
you.
Disney,
eat
it
your
does feel like
dreams.
Disney's been like tricking us because I'm starting to think of another. So it's like this grandma in Mulan, the grandma in Moana, Coco. Like they all kind of look alike, don't they?
They just do their grandma thing.
Disney's got one way to draw old ladies, and it's exactly this.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But they're all funny is the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
they are.
She's so funny.
so wise.
But we get Cricky, which Doge, that's your boy.
Yeah, no, I'll take that. I'll take that. His name's Cricky, guys. It is.
So we meet Cricky here, and
I think he was a Sweet 16. Did he make it even past the first round in Sidekick?
I don't
in
think
Spring
so. I don't think
Delirium?
so.
but he's a fun guy.
I mean, never
Yeah.
mind.
I like him. I'm a big fan.
He only has 4 legs.
He does only have 4
Joe
legs,
likes
doesn't he?
Yeah.
I asked Jess, why does Cricky only have 4 legs? And she, without missing a beat, looked me in the eye and said, because crickets only have 4 legs.
That's not true, though.
And I had never questioned something I knew to be true as fundamentally as I questioned how many legs crickets have. They have 6.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was just very wrong. But for a second, I was like, wait, no, you're right. They do have 4 legs.
They definitely
That's
have 4
right.
legs.
That's right.
So Cricky's a dog cricket, which
They're
is probably why.
Dog bugs.
Dog.
I love him.
I love him too. He's very fun and has a lot of personality, which
He does.
is. And speaking of personality, Mulan's horse. So
Con.
horses just are sassy in
Yeah.
Disney movies.
They
Yep.
are.
Just full stop.
Yeah. Because
I-
you gotta at least get one like
Yeah.
like they just
I
get
think
upset
I've always known that in the back of my head, though.
That horses are sassy?
Horses are sassy.
the way
I
they kind of
feel-
prance around.
Just
Yeah.
like swishing.
Yeah.
Just swishing their tails.
Swish.
I'm trying real hard to turn my opinions on horses like as creatures around a little bit, because I have some negative feelings towards horses.
Did you have a bad experience with a horse?
No, they're just very scary to me. We jump on and ride them like they're fun, but they can kick a hole through a car door, and I just think that maybe we should be more aware of that. Just
Well,
as
they're
people,
sassy, dude. They're just sassy.
It's
You
almost
never
like
know
how
what
I
they're
feel
gonna
about
do.
like a Dodge Challenger.
right? A little bit, yeah. Or it's like
I
they're,
like-
they're
yeah,
cool
in my
cars,
car
but what do
and-
we really know about them?
true power?
You know,
of
we
a-
get in
of
these
a
cars and we drive them
diesel
all the
engine.
time, but these cars could kick a hole in a horse. So we just gotta be
Pretty
so
easily. They
They
careful.
could kill a horse.
But yeah, I think horses are just sassy, and I think they all think they're a little better than me, and that's okay.
I mean, yeah.
They're probably right.
That's okay. But Mulan gets home after failing miserably. Her matchmaker
Big time fail, which was a pretty
exam.
funny one.
Yes.
With the ink on the face
So,
and the tush on
Do you ever
fire.
have like stuff that you hear that is just like so vividly attached to memories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The matchmaker screaming when she sits down and her butt catches on fire, and then the fan lighting it more on
Yes.
fire, like that, like, ooh, like that noise she makes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like that is in my brain.
So funny.
And like it happened, and I was like, I'm 6 years old. Like, it was so strange.
I think this might be the first movie I saw in theaters.
I thought you said that Tarzan was.
No, Tarzan was 99. I saw Tarzan in theater at Disney World. This was 97, I think.
I didn't
right?
see this in
Was it
theaters.
96?
98.
97? 98? One of those years. One of the first movies I saw in theaters.
Yeah. I mean, it's been around
Mine was
Yeah.
Lion King.
for a minute.
I was born the year that Lion King was released.
Also, I was as well. My first movie in theaters was Toy Story. I was very young.
95.
Should not
Disney's
have
got a
seen
theme
it
of
in
being
theaters. I
them
cried.
first
Yeah.
movie experiences are within a Disney film, huh?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. But she gets home and sings my second favorite song in the movie, Reflection, as she cries.
Mhm.
Because, and I think this is when, this scene is so cool because I think this is when we sort of get her whole deal.
Yeah.
Which is quite literally like, when will I be what I feel like? Because it seems to me that
Oh, it's almost a Tarzan vibe, isn't it?
it is a little bit. And her whole theme to me seems to be, it's not that she lacks confidence. She knows who she is.
Yeah.
She just doesn't feel like she outwardly can do anything about
She doesn't
it.
think that she can live into her eternal reality externally.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like that the song that she sings isn't, do I change myself to fit what's around me?
No.
It's instead just, I know who I am. I just don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
This is probably one of Disney's best I Want songs. We've talked about that a little
Yeah.
bit. In Tarzan's really kind of the outlier. There's not a huge I Want song, at least not explicitly. I guess Son
it
of
would
Man
kind of be Son of
probably
Man,
is.
but yeah.
But this is a really great one where we just lay out, exactly like you said, Mulan's whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
one.
I guess the Michael Bolton's Hercules song too is up
Yeah, that's a really great one too.
Right.
Yeah.
there.
I'm so glad he wrote it.
This was career
He did such a
launching
good
song for one Christina Aguilera.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. She does
plays
the
Mulan
credits
in this. Did you
version,
know that?
right?
She does play
she plays
Mulan.
Mulan in the movie.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool.
The Huns are coming. She's like, run away. Like, just like,
My sister told me this weekend when we were talking about Mulan that she owes her love of singing to the song Reflection from Mulan. She said that I didn't even know this, at like 3 and 4 would just like sit in her room alone with the door closed and just be like,
Dude, my wife did the exact same thing. She
No
told me when we were
way.
watching this, she was like, I used to go out in the backyard and act out this entire scene at like 4 years
so
old.
my wife, when we were watching, was like, she was like, oh my gosh, my mom loves this song.
My mom would act out this whole scene.
It launched my mom's singing career. Oh, that's so good.
Oh, man. Speaking of who did sing it, though, we've got another confirmed double dizzer at
We
this
do.
point. This
What's
is
her name?
Leah Salonga.
Salonga, yeah.
Yo, she literally wears the pants. She has been the singer for the only 2 Disney princesses to ever wear pants.
Yeah,
For
snap.
both of them.
There
So
she
she's a pump
goes.
for me. She was almost going to be like a fun super pump.
Yeah.
Like a deep cut.
crushes
Yes,
But
this
song.
she wears the pants. in
She
Disney.
auditioned for the voice part of Mulan, the speaking part.
Oh,
but
really?
Her voice wasn't deep enough. And they cast Ming-Na Wen, who is, she's Agent Melinda May in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
and
cool.
she's also
So good.
in the music video for the 98 Degrees song.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah. For True to Your Heart. The Stevie Wonder and
then, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
She's in the music video.
Wow. That's really
incredible.
great. That's really great.
It doesn't do anything. They're just following her around some generic city with massive jackets and pants on.
Well, I'm gonna watch
And they're
that
like,
later.
wow, you're
Yeah,
so
sure.
pretty.
It's fine. We got to watch it.
That's amazing. But yeah, I really love this moment. And I love sort of the revelation of who Mulan actually is. I like that we get that early and that it stays consistent. And I really appreciate that. But after Reflection, she is this that same day when the army comes in and says,
Feels
we
like
need
it.
you.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so the Emperor's army comes in and says we need one male from every household to come serve, to come fight. And Pops is the only male in the house.
What's the name of the guy who we've said is kind of the
Oh, I don't
he's
remember.
the Emperor's right hand dude?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I disliked him.
Very much.
I have found out in terms of villainy, like there's a dislike I respect and a dislike I just don't like.
Right.
And like I like Shan Yu more than this guy.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I agree.
100%. And he's way worse than this guy.
Right.
Like, there's always, not always, but
I don't
there
think we
is.
needed this guy at all.
He's kind of slimy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think we did either.
I really agree.
I don't think he has any reason
He
to be
feels
in the
like
story.
just a poorly done Zazu type character. Like he's he's there and he's an
anti-Kazu.
assistant and he's always there to be like the brunt of a joke. Like, oh, his hair got burned off and like, oh, his tent got burned down.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan. I dump on
another slipper. Yeah, like that
dump
whole
on
thing.
him.
Yeah. But Mulan's father says, I'll go.
And he's limping up.
'Cause I have to.
There's some powerful.
So I told Callie, there's an interesting story surrounding Mulan's father because that dude is hard with that limp coming out and like, I'm just going to go do that. Oh, man.
He's got the Carlisle effect. Like I want to see a
he really
movie.
does.
Yeah.
I want to see a movie on this dude.
But can we talk just for a second? I completely forgot this existed. The intense synthwave soundtrack of her getting ready to run away.
It's so great.
It started and I was just like, ugh, it's what?
It's so
good.
I don't remember this at all.
I
It
barely
left no
do.
impression on me as a kid. But now as it started and she's like cutting her hair and like getting the horse and it was just this like
Yeah,
like,
Chelsea and
it's
I
so
were
good.
both like, okay.
It's so good.
1998.
it's just grooving. Oh my
Before we
gosh.
move past it, I do want to note the martial art, like the forms that her dad is doing with his sword.
Yeah.
That's those are a series of forms named after Fa Mulan, like the original,
Super cool.
the actual hero of Chinese ballads. and
Super
stuff.
No
cool.
way.
Yeah,
That is
very
awesome.
cool. Very cool. In the
It's
original
funny
story,
and-
she joins, and it's not a quest for personal identity. Like basically, she's like, my dad is too old, or my brother's too young, and it would bring dishonor on my family. It's a sense of like filial duty that she joins, and she serves for 12 years. She refuses any land or titles or rewards. So Disney kind of shifted that and made it into a really traditional quest for personal discovery.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and in the original
yeah.
story too, some of her like fellow soldiers come back to her hometown to like not surprise her, but to come see her, and then that's when they realize like that's
she's
the
a woman.
reveal.
Mhm.
That's the reveal
Interesting.
instead of right in the middle of everything. But
Yeah. That's cool.
Mhm.
But she goes off to war. And we get... No, hit me. What you
I
need?
have an semi-ignorant. I love that there's like I get to sit around a table every week with people that know a lot more than me about a lot of things. Cinematography is even in animation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it feel like this was a complete like? Is that part of what made this feel like I'm watching a blockbuster like war
Yeah.
movie?
I think,
Yeah.
I think the
framing of a lot
cinematography,
of
the
this stuff is
framing was
beautiful.
done so well in this movie, and it felt different. Anyways,
No.
Okay.
I think you're absolutely right.
cool.
But we get introduced to Mushu here, who was actually almost my super pump. And I was shocked.
I really went into this expecting to be annoyed by the antics of the Eddie Murphy.
Here's what I've noticed. Here's what I've realized about Eddie. Live action, I can take him or leave him. It depends on the project. Mostly
Yeah.
leave him.
Like Meet Dave, though. That's a classic. Yeah.
Voiceover work? Give me
good.
Donkey and Mushu all
Oh,
day
it's amazing.
Yeah,
long.
he's good. He's really good.
Perfect for voiceover.
Yeah,
And
those are the only two credits he's ever had.
for voiceover?
Yeah,
Well,
that's all he's ever done.
That's all he ever needs.
Right.
Mushu is so fun,
Mushu is hilarious.
sarcastic. I mean, just an absolute blast, and like plays great to Mulan's fairly like straight man lead.
Yeah.
And so like it works really well to have somebody who's bouncing off the walls like that,
Yeah.
following her
It's
around.
so
Great.
funny too because I can't help but think about like Robin Williams doing Genie, and you have these two epic like. I mean, if there was a Mount Rushmore of comedy, like
Yeah.
maybe they're both going to be there.
Sure.
But it doesn't. It made it feel like because Eddie Murphy does feel off the wall, and there was a lot that he did in SNL where he was kind of breaking the mold and stuff like that. But it
Right,
felt
yeah.
like when it came to Disney and doing this voiceover, he felt infinitely more professional
Yeah.
than
Yes.
Robin Williams.
Especially in his like
it's like, hey,
calm
here's your
moments.
lane.
Yeah.
He's like, cool, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then Robin's like, hey, I drew this map. You know, and
You
so
follow
it's-
me now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you follow me now. And they both
me.
worked in
I'm the
very
captain.
different. Yeah, they both worked in very different ways. It might have been annoying because I think the overall story of Mulan is much better than Aladdin. And so
Yeah,
I think
sure.
if
Yeah.
they had thrown in somebody who was trying to take it over, then I would have been annoyed by that. But
Yeah.
I think he fell into place so well.
I agree.
But he's a pump. He's not my super pump, but he's a big old pump.
same.
Yeah, he's great.
But he reveals himself to Mulan as her fiery savior.
Oh man.
And it's also great.
The,
And
Very much like a church.
the gospel organ, like somebody
Yes.
playing a shout underneath him. It's so good.
all of his
so
sarcasm about the horse being a cow is like I had me like rolling a couple of different times.
Yes,
Yeah.
and just
Very
the whole like having Cricky work for him
Yes.
in terms of production design
Yeah.
and like it's so funny.
Fanning
Fan
the
of
fire.
the flame. Yeah, it's so good. But he says, I'm going to teach you how to be a boy. Let's go to camp.
Yeah.
So he's, guiding her through being a man, fitting in this camp with all these other men, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff obviously does not go well.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
She gets into a fight with Ling, Po, and
Yao.
Yao.
Yep.
Mhm.
Spoilers, they're her best friends. What a way to meet your best friends.
Oh my gosh.
By punching each other.
Yeah, this is fun. There's a lot of this that feels like a typical college movie, like a fraternity movie.
Yeah,
you know what I
a
mean?
little bit.
Where it's
Funny.
just like these dudes
Check
are
out the new guy.
Exactly.
Fresh meat.
just being like gross and nasty.
knuckle sandwich.
Yeah.
How did that guy speak and not bleed profusely from his
This
mouth?
is the guy
Real.
who, man, he's been in a lot of fun stuff. He's in like Independence Day, and he's Goldblum's like assistant at his job. He's like this,
What?
and there was some like he didn't want to play this role,
Right.
Because he wanted this to go like he's like this isn't. I'm a white guy. I don't want you to have me play. Like he was an advocate for having an Asian actors, and then they said, well, here's the deal, like you're the 3% of white people like voicing an Asian character in this,
Right.
and he was like, okay, fine, because I think they really, I mean, the voice fits, like the
Sure
voice fits
does.
Yao
Yeah, absolutely.
really well.
But we pretty immediately after arriving to camp get the best song in the movie. Like pretty immediately.
Maybe the best Disney song.
Yeah.
It's so
So
good.
we get was it Be a Man, Make a Man? What's the name of this? I don't even honestly know the actual name of the song.
Be a Man.
Is it Be a Man?
Yeah.
So fun fact about me.
Is it? I thought it was Make a Man Out of You.
This is
Whatever that song's called.
probably my most sung song in my entire life because I don't know why, but like I sing it in 90% of the showers that I take quietly to myself, just like shampooing
Oh,
my
it
hair.
is I'll Make a Man Out of You.
Okay. Yeah, that's a long title. So I'm just going to call it the man song.
The man song.
But like,
Call it Donny Osmond's good music.
oh, for real. But yeah, I don't know why. I'll just be shampooing and be like, "You must be swift as a coursing."
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. But yeah, Donny Osmond putting in work, earning his paycheck for this song.
We're here. This is my super pump.
Really?
Ah.
Yeah.
This is the greatest. I think it's the best Disney song.
It's
It's
up
prepared
there.
to just blanket say there's not a better Disney song than this one.
Yeah.
Than Donny Osmond's good music.
it's I tend to agree with you. It's very good.
I can't agree with that completely, but it's up there.
I mean, it is just
You guys are breaking my heart. I was really confident this was going to be a super duper pump.
No.
This was
man.
almost my super pump.
Whatever, dude. You hate this
I'm really
song.
psyched about my super
I
pump.
mean,
Whatever,
it's
you guys
like
hate this song.
It's like in the world of music. I'm trying to put it in another environment, but it's like the song that came out during my favorite summer or something that I
Yeah.
love, and like everybody knows the words, and it's always going to be something that someone's going to try and go up and karaoke,
Yeah.
but it's not my favorite, but
Right.
it's way up there.
And it tells the story of, her being able to buckle down and like figure out how to keep up with everybody and then
Yeah.
excel past where everybody is. And like, I get a little emotional when she climbs that pole.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get a little emotional
Dude,
about it.
Donnie has what I would call, I will agree on this if you agree with me, the quintessential like male Disney singing voice.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
It is perfect. He
Yeah.
doesn't ever show off, but somehow he's better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing about like no one does Donny Osmond impersonations.
No.
Right. Because
It's
all it is
like
is just
cookie
singing straight.
cutter.
Go.
This is exactly
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do. Technically perfect. But when they drop the music on one of those ones, like be a man, and it's
Yeah.
just all the male vocals.
Yeah.
Woo wee.
Woo wee.
Woo wee.
And one of the funnest key changes in any Disney
Yep.
song.
we
in
have
this
okay, so we talked about how is this water sanitary?
Yes.
Like how that
Yeah.
ends up being like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
family thing.
Yeah.
In the Dimmitt family, Chelsea's family, they'll be like, if anybody's tired or anything, every now and then they'll be like, I'm never gonna catch my breath. Like about those who know me. You should follow, man. I need to get my wife to post it again. My brother-in-law, Nolan, God love him, is a passionate singer. And that's all he's got going for him.
Okay. I love this
But
passion.
I need
though.
her to post it again because there's video of him. Mulan's probably his favorite Disney movie.
Okay, fair
There's
enough.
video of him singing, and it is so awesome. Like, and his like, it's all over the place. But yeah, that is a. I think
It's got us good.
I covered this song once, like at a coffee house at our college. Yes, and it was so random.
That's so great.
It's already the most random.
Did you do
set.
all the voices?
I might have.
Now I really wish that I knew how to swim.
Hey, can I show you guys really quick when we're talking about that trio? who they're being played by.
Yeah.
And then so Mulan is coming out in 2020.
Yeah.
Rumor has it is not, and it makes so much sense that they're gonna of all the Disney Renaissance type movies, this is the one to not make a musical if you're gonna make it a full length film, like a feature film. And so
I'd also love for it to be
this guy's playing
dark.
Yao Chen Tang, not that big a deal, but wait till you see.
I could see him being a good Yao though.
The next ones are gonna be nuts. So Ling, Jimmy Wong is playing Ling, and I recommend the Chunkies to go look at the 2020 credits. They've got everybody lined up. You'll be able to see who's,
Donnie Yen is in this one.
who all is playing everybody. Jet Li's son is in it too.
Yeah.
And so this is Ling. How much does that look like?
Oh my
Ling?
gosh.
Whoa.
Now your life is going to be changed.
That's funny.
Because this is the guy playing Poe. Look at that. Look at his face.
What?
Look at him.
Weird.
It's like they drew him. But yeah,
Weird.
I
it's
think
getting me
Disney
so
just went to the
pumped.
hospital and was like, let's draw what these babies are going to look like in 20 years and then cast them later when we make this movie again.
We did it.
That's so good.
Yeah, but it's Donnie Yen is Commander Tung and Jet Li is the Emperor. Super cool. And then Jason Lee is
you know who the
awesome.
Emperor is in the animated movie?
Yeah.
It's Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
It makes me very
And
happy.
the King of the Ancestors is George Takei.
Oh gosh, I love that too.
That's such a good George
That was very good, George
impersonation.
Takei.
You keep making comments about how, but you pull out the most random good, like you're Adam. I go back to that episode where you did Adam Driver for a hot minute
And then
because my world stopped.
Even at the beginning of this one, just even an even better Alexander Hamilton than the real one.
Okay.
Yes. It's up there with Jordan. Don't exclude yourself from this. You're Bill Collins.
Yeah, no, it's pretty spot on Bill.
Exactly.
I'm pretty good at
He
Bill.
knew that was coming because that was like it.
Yeah, pretty good at Bill Collins. But after this song is when we sort of start to move into the second half, the meat of the movie. But before we get to the meat of the movie, I'd like to get to the meat of our podcast.
Ooh.
This is the real
Why don't
reason we do a
both-
podcast.
That's the bingo. That's what that felt like.
It's time for Shout Announcements. Welcome to Shout Announcements, the part of the show where we give shout outs and make announcements.
Did somebody step on your paw?
Yeah, sorry. Just got a little.
Step on your paw.
Yeah, it was my tail.
Here we go.
First things first, we want to give some shout outs to Tyler Station and Waxbase. If you're in Dallas and you need a place to work but don't have an office, come on down, check out Tyler Station and
Come
Waxbase.
on
That's actually
down.
where we are right now. We're drinking their coffee, their beverages. We're recording in them. Thank you very much, Tyler Station and Waxbase. We also want to give a big shout out to Podbean. We pay you money, we put stuff on you, and that stuff is this stuff, our podcast stuff. Thank you, Podbean.
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 We've got several people who interacted with us on Instagram this past week. And the internet is not working in the studio, but I promise that I love you and I value you each individually, even if I can't say your names right now. We also did receive pumps and
You know who
dumps.
you are.
You know who you are. We received a super pump and a super dump from Jordan, not the podcast Jordan, but the different Jordan.
one.
His super pump for Mulan is that her motivations come from a sense of duty and honor derived from her culture instead of a love interest.
Yep.
I would agree with that. I would amend and say maybe not so much duty and honor as a personal, like her duty to herself and her commitment to honor herself, not at the expense of others, but just to recognize that what I feel and believe about myself is more important than what society tells me about
Yeah,
myself.
I think it can be a blended smoothie of familial duty and personal honor and duty.
He says, plus she has the highest on-screen body count of any Disney princess I can think of.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Greater than one. So I would say, yeah. higher than most Disney princesses.
1,994.
Wait,
to be
really?
exact.
Holy moly.
Because only 6 of the Huns survived.
Wowzers.
So it actually would be 3,994 if you count them poor horsies.
Wow.
They all died too.
I don't like to think about that.
His super dump is that Disney decided the best way to cap off a movie about feudal China that featured an ethnically cohesive soundtrack up to that point was a Stevie Wonder song.
Oh, come on, Jordan.
He says, I love Stevie.
If you're
It just
going
doesn't
to
make any
call it a
sense.
98 degree song, don't call it a Stevie Wonder song. That feels more
Stevie Wonder
dumpy.
is the 99th degree, though.
I hear that.
Yeah.
That does make sense to me.
But here's the
still
thing.
love it.
Here's the thing. Soundtrack in the 90s. I mean, it has to be. Right?
You gotta
He's
have
on
one
all
of-
of them.
You got to have
isn't
one
he?
of the...
I have a very, very special shout out. One of our chunkies named Maggie has introduced me to perhaps one of the biggest Disney fans of all time. We want to give a special shout out to Spencer.
Yeah.
Spencer is graduating high school this year. Spencer, we are super proud for you, man. We are so proud for you. We're so happy to be doing this Disney stuff, and we hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
From what we're hearing, you are. So huge shout out to Spencer. Maggie, thanks for sharing him with us.
Congrats on graduating.
Congrats, man. Finish strong.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Spence. Something that you guys need to do. Oh, and something that I need to do.
Yeah, this is a big moment for you.
So it's tough. I'm an Android boy. I'm half robot. And it's really hard for me to use computers because it feels like I'm using my family. No, I just went with this narrative. So I have an Android, and for some reason I'm having a hard time downloading iTunes, which actually gets me concerned for Android users.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way for you guys.
We'll figure it out, but I'm going to review. I will be the 100th review of our podcast. And I was sharing that. I had a channel in one of the ways that we communicate on the podcast, but I had a channel to let the guys know. Did y'all see that when I put up like what tomato? Like we can totally do it. Am I right? Like what is wrong? And I kept reading about with Rotten Tomatoes, like they want critics that reach an audience that they don't necessarily have a lot of, that are consistent. And we're doing all of those things. It's just the one thing that we need is the 200 reviews by October. And so when I am done reviewing, we will be halfway there.
Yeah.
Our average might not stay at 5 stars after I review.
Oh no!
But our average
give us 0.
Our average is 5 stars, and we just need at least 4. And having 50% already at 5 really is putting us in good shape to meet all those requirements to be able to do that for a long, long time. And so that'd be super, super cool for us. But please go rate, review, subscribe. I know a lot of you who are listening right now already have because we're seeing the numbers.
Yeah,
and I might share a screenshot with the guys like every other day. To be like, guys, look how many downloads we had on a Friday or on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like this is crazy. And so it's really got everything to do with the Chunkbassadors. It's got to do with all of you guys that continue to post some stuff on your social media, reach out to the people that we can't specifically reach out to. So thanks for passing it forward. Keep it up.
Yeah, and we make a lot of jokes about how great we are, and obviously I hope they're coming off as jokes. But like,
I don't know. Did you hear the rap at the top of this one?
But like, we made this podcast because these are conversations that we would honestly be having regardless of whether we were recorded or not. And so the fact that we just sit and have these conversations and like other people like it is kind of unbelievable.
The fact that anybody in the world would listen to us talk for an hour kind of blows my mind. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like, I can't believe we get to do this. And this is something that has such a part of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels like a lot of it kind of fell into place too, because we always knew that we were going to be able to talk about movies, right? And talk about podcasts, talk about A to B podcasts. We just knew that would happen. Yeah. But then to be able to have like Jordan and Doge knowing sound equipment so well, Adam being a sound wizard, Doge being good with graphic design, like Adam, like what Adam is able to do. I was listening to Jonathan Van Ness's podcast of Queer Eye.
Love that
because
boy
I'm ready
much.
to just kind of soak up any of the Fab Five as I can, any part of the day. And to be able to listen to something like that, and I know he's got way more money than the 4 of us combined, to be able to listen to that and know that we are like on par with the quality of, what are considered professionally recorded and produced podcasts. It's just really cool. It's really cool. And I was even kind of switching back and forth and could hardly tell the difference between the two.
Like sound quality specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
let's say he has maybe 1,000 times as much charisma as me. But
in his like pinky nail.
Exactly.
He's just
who gave you permission?
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. So
thank you is what we're trying to say. Like, thank you for being interested in listening.
And thank you, Jonathan Van Ness.
Just for being you. For being Jonathan.
Rule.
Dude, Jonathan, I love you, man.
Yeah, honestly.
I love you big time.
Much like Lin-Manuel Miranda, we know you listen and we know you're a huge fan. And like,
please go to Disney.
I just want to hang out. Yeah, can we just spend the day?
We need to add another follow to our Instagram account.
Yeah.
And then finally, a big announcement before we go back.
Big one. Big one.
Our next Disney movie.
Wait. Before we do that, I lost something. Have you guys seen my groove anywhere? I swear I had it with me when we came in here.
Great plug!
No, dude, you threw it off. Do you remember?
I threw my groove off?
You threw your groove off.
Could I get another one? Maybe one that's not as old? Could I get a new one?
Oh, you get a used one probably.
Well, where's the new one? Does somebody else have the new one?
The next movie we're talking about could be Jordan's used groove.
No. I'd rather talk about the Emperor's new groove.
Why don't we review that next week then?
Oh my gosh!
Second place, the Emperor's New Groove.
I'm so happy this
representing.
one made it.
How fun is it? These back to back, like representing the two halves of our final for Spring Delirium.
I think there's probably reasons for both of those
Mushu
things.
and Kronk, right?
I could also probably make an argument that Crunk is 90% of the reason Emperor's New Groove made it to number 2 out of 6.
Particularly the scene with the angel and the devil on his shoulder, and also when he does his own theme
song.
music.
Yeah.
It's just those 2 scenes.
Yes,
I think we're only going to
absolutely.
review those 2 scenes.
Yeah,
probably.
and we'll have plenty of time to review it.
Cannot wait. Spoiler alert. My mom loved this movie because Rascal Flatts did Walk the Llama Llama for the theme song. And that tells you pretty much all you need to know
Rascal
about
Flatts has been around for a minute.
I have
childhood.
a dear friend whose grandmother was convinced that band is called Rattlescags. So
it's going to be
tune in next week to hear us talk about Rattlescags' greatest movie of all time.
Jordan's Old Groove.
Jordan's Used Groove.
old used groove.
So Mulan's kind of part of the crew now. She's been accepted. She has excelled in her field. And now they're marching off to war based on a fake letter that Mushu forged because he wanted to make sure that Mulan got her medal.
Yep.
So off they go. And they sing, "What do we want?
Go a fighting for.
We're fighting for."
That was a pretty good "What Do We Want?"
Yeah.
That is a great what do we
All you have
want.
to do is sing it as though it's being played through a keyboard. And it's pretty much
Just no vibrato,
Yeah.
straight tone the whole time.
pretty much spot on. So this song, I'm kind of whatever on
Yeah.
as a song. The way this song transitions into the like horrifying village scene
Dude.
is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the sudden stop.
Yeah. The sudden stop, and this marks the point that it just becomes a drama. Like it's not a musical anymore. It's just
Yeah, there's no singing after this, is there?
No, not really. Yeah, it does a hard turn that doesn't feel out of place. I mean, this is the only. I mean, it's definitely the first that we just see like a battlefield. I mean, this is full of dead bodies.
There's no other Disney really is about war.
Right.
Like this one is, you know?
Well, and it's almost good that they've done kind of they did a 1-for-1. Like they didn't disrespect really what a war does. I mean, there was no point for them to dive super deep into like the trauma and all that stuff. But it's like, hey, people die.
This scene is so tough too because I don't think I really fully registered for me as a kid that the commander was Shang's father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just like watching it now and realizing that like he is realizing that his father died, honoring him, and then immediately saying, let's go carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Well, and that's what's crazy too. And they didn't connect it too much, but like he would have probably liked to take his father's place just like what Mulan has done.
Sure.
He never gets to.
Sure.
And pretty crazy.
It's just a tough scene all around.
It is a tough scene.
And then I don't love that Mushu seemingly sets off a rocket out of nowhere to give away their position to the Huns. It's not like he was doing
I'm trying to think
anything.
of how else it could have happened.
No, yeah,
I think any other way would be fine.
I don't feel like a fool of a toque moment.
Yeah, I don't love when like little magical. I don't love the fact that Mushu has so much of an effect on the overall narrative, on the real story. You know what I mean? Because I think there's something to be said like for keeping Mushu to where at the end it's not even answered whether he's like imaginary, whether Mulan imagined him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think there's an element of like he should be kind of a little bit removed from the actual movement of the plot.
Yeah, that role, like almost verbatim of what you said. That is my super dump. I think
interesting
because, and I'll follow up with my super pump right after this, but because he almost has too much influence on it.
Yeah.
With that, and then I mean he's like Mulan doesn't kill Shan Yu. Mushu does.
Right.
You know, and these kind of things. And it's not the kind of like, oh, whoa, Iago's been the villain the whole time. Like that's totally different.
No.
But that was a super dump for me. And again, this isn't a movie that I like a lot, so it didn't ruin anything for me.
Is Mushu a tasteful and non-offensive Jar Jar Binks who just bumbles his way through stuff and ends up having too much of an effect on the plot?
No, I don't think he bumbles his way. I mean, there is an accident that happens there, but there's too much of it that's planned to be like that.
Fair.
But I can see bits of it. But my super pump, I guess I could have chosen to do this at any time, but the character Mulan is my super pump, personally. And I think it's just because so much of the story is in her control and she's like in charge of the narrative. Whereas a lot of princesses and a lot of female protagonists in the movies kind of fall into it.
Yeah.
Or and the thing too is it's like Disney said, my bad for Meg. for
Let's
Meg
try again.
objectification.
Yeah.
Let's just wrap it up. Let's just like literally wrap it all up and then find out how the world relates to this person if they think she's a boy. And just with everything that she's going through too, like, so this movie almost was PG, not because of war or the battle scenes, but because one of the ancestors says cross-dresser.
That makes it PG. Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy? And so I think I Mulan is my super pump too for I think the influence that this has on, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of other Disney princesses like Cinderella or something like that. I obviously like Mulan more than Cinderella, but it's like if you're going to be a girl, like a young girl, I rather like my little girl.
Yeah.
Want to be like Mulan than almost any other Disney
that category
princess.
of like Moana or
Yeah.
stuff like that, where it's like, hey, they have agency, they have their own wants, their own desires, and they're not going to let people tell them that they're invalid because they're a girl.
Yeah. I would even put Belle in that
Yeah.
kind of category.
Yeah. My super pump's very similar. I'm going to hold off though because I have a specific moment, but I'm agreeing with pretty much everything you're saying. I love all of this.
Yeah.
Let's get to the avalanche.
Yeah. This battle scene is great.
Woo-wee.
Like
That
really
is-
great.
That is like a scene in my mind that I remember since I was 11 or whenever this came out.
Mulan running forward with the cannon, fearlessly ahead of everybody else. Even when they, run away,
Yeah.
is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
The
With
scene
the scene of them charging down, I mean, I think we've almost talked about it in every one of the Disney movies so far, but using the 3D
That's
type
CG.
animation, the CG stuff, like, I mean, is this the best it's been done so
it
far?
works really well.
It's really
I
good.
think it works really well.
I love that Mulan wins here because of ingenuity rather than brute strength. I love that she runs in and says, I have a better idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool, specifically thinking about kind of what you just talked about. Like this is not our traditional Disney princess. This girl knows what's up and she is like handling business.
Yeah.
And I love that. I do want to say though that my super dump is on this mountain.
Okay.
And it is, I'm going to call it a combination of pacing and forgetting to set the movie in the real world at the same time. So obviously we have dragons, and like ancestor ghosts. And so like, it's not entirely realistic. But like, I don't think that Poe should be able to lift up an entire group of people and a horse and 3 people hanging onto the horse and pull them from the
And the
brink of
strongest
death.
arrow of all time.
Yeah.
For real.
So it's just like, that's a lot of, okay, from me, you know what I mean? Like, all right, that's a
It's
little much.
a fair amount of Maguri.
Yeah. But then also in this moment we get, there's a lot of Magoo going on. But also in this moment, I feel like we just get like, Huns got buried. They're not buried. Let's go to the end now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the pace picks up.
It's very rapid towards like, I mean, especially once we get to the palace and it's just like.
Well, you can see the palace from this mountain.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But once we get to the palace, it's like, Shan Yu's here. We got the emperor. Let's fight him.
Well, that's
Like,
what I'm saying.
boom,
In terms
boom,
of the
boom.
fast pace, it's like, oh, wait, this was all happening right there?
I mean,
why didn't they just go straight into the city with the full army?
Right.
That's Act 3. So that's like, this is kind of what we've been talking about is like the Act 3 of these Disney movies has to be very
fast.
lightning fast.
Yeah. But I think that's
Breaking through the snow, though, I knew it was coming. It still made me jump.
Callie jumped like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's my super dump is just like there are brief moments, and this is representative of that, but there are brief moments where this movie forgets like, well, we've been pretty grounded this whole time. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the Incredible Hulk. It's just a big dude.
That's funny.
Whatever. That's my super dump. But
Now on to the palace.
yeah, well, it's revealed that Mulan is a woman.
Yeah.
And they get real mad. But
Yeah, a life for a life.
yeah, Shank spares her life.
They were going to kill her. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what her dad says at the beginning. We got to go get her, and he says they'll kill her if they find out.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez.
but she decides anyway. I'm going to ride to the palace and let them know what's up because Shan Yu has lived, basically. We get one of the cooler final villain confrontations ever
Yeah.
in this palace, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And
I like the role reversal of like, you have to sneak in as women.
Yeah, I do too.
so here's my super pump. This is, again, I'm sort of going meta with both of these, but like my super pump is that Mulan's greatest perceived weakness is actually her greatest strength in the end.
Sure.
I love the character of Mulan. I have had the thought multiple times since watching it, like, if someday I have a daughter, like Mulan is the Disney princess that if I had to pick one to point to and say, be like this, it would be Mulan. And I think it's because in the end, she is not pretending to be a boy so she can go do the right thing. She is being herself and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And she's even looking at people who would have looked down on her before and said, no, do it my way this time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it works because, it's this perfect, like they've brought back the training from the beginning. Like it is just such a good bow on her journey.
Callbacks on callbacks. Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, this moment of let's sneak in dressed as women and go save the emperor is just the perfect culmination of what I feel like her story was building to. And she, I'm not going to spend too much time because you've already addressed, like, she's such a brilliant character.
Right.
And so this moment is my super pump for the entire movie.
Yeah, I love it.
It's really great.
I mean, with her fight, her one-on-one fight with Shan Yu.
With that
Fan.
With the fan, but even before that, homie is like terrifying.
Yeah,
because with a
very
sword,
scary.
he's slashing through entire columns of the palace.
He looks like a shaved Thundercat.
He does look like a shaved Thundercat.
Gosh.
Like with his claws and his fangs.
Yes. Well, there's Panthro. I mean, like he's basically shaved. The Panther.
He's the Egyptian Thundercat. He's the hairless one.
Yes. He's Shan Yu, the hairless one. But he is. I'm terrified for Mulan. And I've seen the movie, and I'm like, wait, oh my gosh, she's gonna die.
Him, like,
he's gonna kill her.
punching through that thing, that roof that she's standing on,
yeah.
and then she takes that. When she takes that, she's like, not quite.
He's kind of got the build and the like overwhelming strength over anyone else, like Ratigan does, like with the mice. Like he just feels like in Great Mouse Detective, like this massive, scary dude.
Yeah,
that can go way further than you.
Now, it's not entirely important at all, but I gotta say, maybe the hardest I laughed the entire movie is Mushu flying up to that tower and then, citizens, I need firepower. And he goes, who are you? Your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Like the tonal change in that moment is so drastic and weird that it cracks me up. It's just your worst nightmare. It's too good. It really is too
Would that have been a Batman reference?
Yeah, 100%.
But that's pre-Nolan, that like gravelly voice and stuff. I guess Nolan wasn't the first to do that, like super like...
Probably not, but this would have been around animated series time.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
And that like... like up on that's very animated series.
Very gothic. That's when Batman went really gothic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
But Shan Yu gets exploded.
Yep.
Big explosion.
Into never.
Big exploded into fireworks.
Exploded into never. Forever. And Mulan is honored.
Yeah. I'm glad there was
Emperor.
thoughtful time put on that.
On her being honored? Yeah. I
by
agree.
the Emperor.
I
For
agree.
sure.
And she says no to the position of power that's offered to her, which I appreciate.
Yep.
Just from a staying true to character position of like, I don't want that. I just want to go home.
Yep.
And she gets the medal that Mushu had longed for. She gets Shan Yu's sword to give to her dad. And she gets bowed to by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
The ending is very good.
It's
very powerful. I could have done without the BD Wong, Donny Osmond, and Mulan romance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he comes back and is like asking her for a date, and like I could have done without that.
I don't know if it was necessary.
I hear you, but I do kind of like the idea of like she was clearly digging him from the moment she got to the camp. You know, I don't think that a romance inherently weakens a character unless it's the focal point. And since it wasn't, I think I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
That's fair, but at the same time, I think it's not the focal point, so it just gets in the way.
Sure.
In my opinion, at least.
Sure.
But
then we would have missed out on the grandmother's line. You want to stay forever?
Yeah.
Which is
stay forever.
Really great.
Yeah, she's good.
She's the only Disney princess, Mulan is, that actually isn't royalty.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
That's very cool.
And like one of 3 protagonists that has both of their parents.
Yeah, a very, very non-Disney family unit.
Yeah.
Like 3, because she's got mom, dad, and grandma.
Yeah.
And little brother.
And
little brother,
the weird dog.
The weird
and Cricky. Something I didn't bring up, like, I think my favorite Cricky scene is when he's looking into the reflection of the helmet after the avalanche and starts weeping.
Yeah.
And Mushu's like, what do you mean you're not lucky? Like, it was so funny.
Hey, can I say real quick?
Yeah.
That Eddie Murphy.
That was a good Eddie Murphy.
That was great.
What is... Guys, thank you so much.
Welcome to Two Chunks and Hunk, the podcast of surprise impressions.
Yeah, we're all about just encouraging one another. And,
surprise impressions.
is that George Takei?
From George Takei.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But yeah, we end this movie with a beautiful, what is that, a Wurlitzer and some Stevie Wonder just getting after it at 98 degrees. Yeah, here's the thing. It was Jordan's super dump, but man, I really love this song a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is a good one.
I really like this song.
What was your super pump, Doge?
Make a man out of you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make him. Donny Osmond's good music.
Good
Donnie's
music.
good music.
Donnie. Thanks, Donnie.
Shalala Joseph.
So, my friends, is it time?
Yes.
I think it's time to take the fire of Mushu and light the coals.
Yeah. Keep going.
The furnace that runs the train
That runs science.
that's taking us to Science Town, the capital city.
Capital
The
of
capital
science.
city of
The capital city of podcast, Science Town, where we have left the scientific cinema scale, which is, of course, the perfect way to rate movies, and is as follows. The best thing we can ever say about a movie is own it. Don't lend it.
Buy that poster.
The next best thing we can ever say is buy it. After that, it's going to be rent it, followed by stream it, and then forget it. And last, but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us. I'll go first. It's a buy from me. It's a strong buy. I love it. I would buy it. I have bought it. I own it. It's a buy.
I'll go next. This is also a buy from me. I never bought it, even as a kid, never owned this movie, but I promised to buy it. I would love to buy this movie. I slept on this. I forgot how great this one is.
Really is.
I think the only thing that doesn't make it a stream for me is the fact that everything about it I love. I'm buying the poster. So I'm actually buying the poster for Mulan.
Whoa.
It does it for me with the music.
Sure.
It does something different enough in being like a war epic, which Disney hadn't really had to. Maybe they're not touching it again because they did it so well the first time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think our protagonist, our princess, it's my favorite Disney princess. There's just too much that's going well. And I think everybody played their part really well and semi-evenly. Like I had a little bit of everything that I loved a lot.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nothing that stood out so much to where I was like, I like Hades more than Shan Yu, but Hades is almost all that did it for me for Hercules.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this had everything. And so it's a buy that poster. I think it's just, it's an A, you know?
Yeah.
It's an A across the board.
Does it feel like maybe something that sets this movie apart? We didn't really talk about this, but it almost feels like every piece serves the whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very well plotted, very well put together.
This feels like the Lord of the Rings ensemble cast nomination. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to pick out like one single one, but you can't imagine one of them not being there.
Sure.
Except for Homie, that's stupid. That's the Emperor's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's so important. You can tell by how much we talked about him.
Well, I
Yeah,
was going to
right.
say, notice we didn't even bring him up really at all.
Yeah.
And it's because like he doesn't serve
Because
any
he could be
purpose,
completely cut out of this story
Yep.
and it would suffer none.
which is a problem because it's not like you could cut him out, but at least he's fun.
Right.
You know, he was almost my super dump.
Yeah. You could cut him out, but then you'd lose your offensive character and you gotta have one.
That's just
have
tough.
one.
Yeah.
That's just tough.
Gotta have one.
Disney, you're better.
And
better than
Mulan
that.
marks the end of, until Princess and the Frog comes back many years later, the end of like musical Disney movies.
No way.
Classic.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Princess
Okay.
and the Frog in 2009.
Which
Yeah.
was
a decade later.
Over 10 years later.
yeah. So thanks, Mulan. That was awesome.
Perchance.
Well, obviously next time we're going to be talking about the how Emperor got his groove back.
How I Met Your Emperor's Groove.
How I spent my Emperor's groove vacation.
Yeah.
You guys ever read that book?
10 Emperors I Groove About You.
A groove of their own. I don't know. I'm going to play this game and I'm going to
groove lot.
It's going to just be random shots.
Sure,
I just
sure,
want to
sure.
be, I just want to belong.
The Ballad of Emperor's Groove.
Yes. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so to end this episode, what I would like for each of us to do is name one animal that would have been better to help Mushu and Mulan than a cricket. For Two Chunks and a Hunk, I'm Jordan Wonders, and instead of a cricket, I would have an elephant. Who would really just sort of knock down some walls that Cricky couldn't bust through, and
Amazing.
that trunk, you know, they got basically knuckles at the end of their trunks.
Yep.
And grab stuff.
Yeah. The big knuckle
They
nose.
really do. It's weird.
Big knuckle nose.
It's very
That's what they
disturbing.
have.
You old knuckle nose.
I'm Doge, and instead of one cricket helping Mulan and her friends, I would choose 3 crickets. And it's because crickets are lucky, but the scale is different. So they're plus 1.2 lucky, but they also have a -1 luck debuff. And so if you have one cricket that's plus 1.2 luck, another cricket is a -1, so you're at 0.2 luck. But if you have a third cricket, you can get up to 1.4 luck. And as we all know, that's very close to 1.5, which is when Mulan would level up. And so, I mean, it would be really easy for her to fight all the bad guys at that point.
Since you
just edit me in saying something funny here.
Since you stole mine verbatim, I want to stick with the Chinese calendar. And I'm going to go...
No, just that's the animal that's helping her. It's Mulan Mushu and a calendar.
With the power of knowing what day of the week it is, I am unstoppable.
Stop. Well, do I even say
you
it
can
now?
only attack on Saturdays. It's a Thursday.
Oh my gosh. Well, never mind. It's a calendar. My sidekick would be a calendar.
Thanks for listening.
The Ballad of Fa Mulan, 1998.
Mulan is a story set in ancient China. There's a girl, there's a cricket, there's a dragon breathing fire, and the horse's name is Khan, but I don't know that he's relevant. Her story's pretty crazy, so dear listener, I will tell it. The Huns invade and the emperor calls, and Mulan's sweet daddy is too old and bald and frail and weak to defend his land. So Mulan takes his place in the army as a man. After a sword haircut and a training song, all the other soldiers respect Mulan. She is cunning in battle, she is smart, she is strong. She has finally found a place that she can feel like she belongs. The army meets the Huns on a snowy field. They're incredibly outnumbered and they refuse to yield. So she formulates a plan, quick as a glance, and Mulan they reach the Huns beneath the avalanche. The fighting is over, the war is through. Looks like happy ever after, but Commander learns the truth. Identity revealed, Mulan is on the run, when who should erupt from the snow but the Huns. She races to the emperor, and though they have a friend in her, not a single soldier that she served with will remember her. The remaining Huns attack, take the emperor as prisoner. The fate of the nation now rests on her. She says to the men, we must be bolder, colder soldiers, using tools at our disposal. Infiltrate the palace under cover of disguise, and you're not gonna like it, but you can't be guys. So they advance upon the enemy, skirts hitched high, ruthlessly eliminating Huns left and right. Mulan defeats the leader with a fireworks display. The emperor is freed, China is saved. He gives her a medal and he gives her a sword. He sends her home, the peace restored. She kneels before her father and he kisses her face. Then Commander shows up at her house for a date. Mulan saved China, all well dressed as a dude. She proves that we're more than sorry to be crude. What's between our legs? No, it's the heart that counts. There's my synopsis. Lin-Manuel, I hope I made you proud.